Hi, how's it going? I'm Marlena and thanks for wandering by. So, I'm really excited. I'm really excited to do this today. I believe this is going to be called a Thoth Rider-Waite-Smith or Waite-Smith or Smith-Waite, however you say it, matchup, like who's gonna win out. Basically, I got this idea because I've been studying the tarot intensively for over almost we're talking like over a year and a half now. And I started with the Waite-Smith, and this year I've intensely dived into studying the Thoth. So I got to thinking about like, which is my preferred system. And I truthfully don't know. So I'm like excited to see, how this plays out. So what we're going to do today is we're going to go card by card and kind of match them up. And I'm going to decide which card I prefer over the other. And then kind of tally it up at the end and see who wins out. Now, this is all for fun and games. I love both of these systems, but I'm really curious to see, like, at the end of the day, which cards I prefer more. Now, what criteria am I going to use? I mean, mainly this is probably going to be like an aesthetic matchup. Let's just be honest, because we're going to look at the card artwork and kind of make decisions from there. But who knows? I might have criteria that has to do more with how that depiction kind of reinforces how I read the card, or if my understanding aligns more with one or the other, who knows? But I'm very excited to kind of dive in here and see which one will win out. And I'm excited to kind of walk through this with you. So, so let's just jump right in and get started. So I suppose we really need to start with the card backs themselves. And just so that you know, this is a Thoth Greenie, which is a 1979 version of a printing of the Thoth Tarot. This is out of print, but I always like to tell you, and I'll always leave links below, where you can find the mass market edition of the large, which is the same size as this, that you can find it. And then this is the Smith-Waite Tarot deck, the borderless. So this is the Centennial edition, the borderless. Okay, so I can probably tell you right off the bat that I love both of the backs of these cards. I have my one gripe with the Smith-Waite Centennial borderless is that the backs have a border, and I wish that it was full bleed with the green. And it has the copyright in the corner, which I don't love. Now, the back of the Thoth Tarot, it's not like I find this more aesthetically pleasing, but the amount of meaning and richness that is in the Rosicrucian cross, which is what you find on the backs of the Thoth Tarot, I think makes that back a clear winner for me. In the books that I've studied on the Thoth, just the chapters on the Rosicrucian cross, like, had me enthralled for days and days. Although I really do truly love the back of the Centennial. But we're gonna give this to Thoth. So let's remember to add 1 to the Thoth tally at the end. I'll try to remember that. Okay, so let's flip over and we're going to go card by card. And I'm gonna make piles on the sides to see, the winner and the loser. and so we'll see. Okay, so we start out with the Fool. And honestly, this is easy for me to kind of give already. I sort of, while I love all of the imagery and symbolism in the Thoth Fool, I just like the face is just too, I don't know. I just can't get into the face. I do love these like swirling, like umbilical cord going on, that there's the butterfly, the tiger, the, you know, the sun at the crotch, these, like the alligator, like I love, 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 love the, you know, the dove, and just, you know, having dove into all of that symbolism was amazing as part of my studies. But honestly, the Waite-Smith Fool is, for me, just beautiful. I love the sun. I love the Fool's, just the way that the Fool is perched at the edge of the cliff, you know, ready to go over. The perspective, the little white dog, the white flower, just like everything about this card, the coloring for me, although colors, you know, we're gonna see some color similarities here. That's what I was gonna say, some color similarities. So we're going to give this one to the Waite-Smith, and we're gonna put it here, and the loser goes on this side. So we have our Magician and our Magus. Now, again, you know, I felt like I was going to immediately start preferring the Thoth, but I actually know kind of right away that the Waite-Smith depiction of the Magician is my favorite. I love the as above, so below, all the tools on the table, like what I've learned, the way that I read the Magician as the, you know, the conduit, the, you know, the manifester. I love the roses and the lilies. I did love studying all of these different symbols, the ape here, but I mean, if we're gonna go just straight for aesthetics, and symbolism too, I'm gonna give it to the Waite-Smith. Okay, so now we have the High Priestess, or the Priestess in the Thoth Tarot. This is tough. I love both of these cards so much. I love that the camel shows up, which is the Hebrew letter that we see on the Priestess card. I love this, like, the geometry with this like netting and veil that comes across, the bow that she has in her lap. But I do, when I think of the High Priestess, I think of this with, they're similar, right? The columns, there's a lot of things that are similar here. I think this one, although this is rough. Why did I do this to myself? I do love them both. I don't know. I think because of this at the foreground here versus the foreground here, I think I'm gonna give it to Thoth in this for this card. Oh my goodness, this is tough. Okay, so I think I can probably pretty easily say, like, aesthetically, I prefer the Waite-Smith Empress. I just love her pillowed throne, the Venus symbol. I love the pomegranate dress. It's just, this is when I think of the Empress, I think of this depiction. I do really love the colors in this card. I love the swan, but at the end of the day, I think it is Waite-Smith. Okay, so here we have our Emperor, and I don't love the Emperor card in general, just in either deck. It's not my favorite. Like those first were much more of my like favorite cards, but the Emperor, I gotta say, just because of all the red, there's lots of red and orange here, but all of this color, just, it feels like that fire, that Aries. I think I prefer this Emperor. And when I think in my mind's eye of the Emperor, this is the one that comes to mind versus the Waite-Smith. Okay, so we're gonna give it to the Thoth in here. Okay, so the Hierophant, I can tell you right away that I prefer the Thoth Hierophant. And I've studied both. I know that, you know, there's a lot of religious symbolism in both of these cards. I know that there's, you know, this cross, and the supplicants and the keys. Like, these are all really important symbols. But when I read more about the Hierophant, seeing the Hierophant really as a conduit, as a intermediary between this world and the divine, I see that more here. Yeah, this card I definitely give to the Thoth. So here we have the Lovers. This one's a toughie for me because I'm a Gemini and the Lovers is the Gemini card. I think though that the Smith-Waite has too much of an Adam and Eve symbolism going on here, although I really always have loved that angel. I have spent so much time investigating this card. And I love the way that the Lovers card and and the Art or Temperance in Smith-Waite, how those cards interact with one another. And you have the red lion and the white eagle, and then how that kind of gets you. There's so much in here. And that is the Hermit. And then these pillars of swords. Yeah, like obviously because I can go on and on about this, this is the one that I prefer. The Chariot. So another card rife with symbolism. Like there's so much in here with these symbols, the yoni and the, with the animals, the 4 fixed astrological signs in here, everything about his crown. And here we have the symbol for Cancer. And then you have the stars in the draping of the Chariot. And here as well, I believe there's wording across here or letters, some sort of symbol, or am I thinking of something else? It's just, both of these cards you can dig into so much for their symbolism, but purely aesthetically, because there feels like there's movement in this card, I think I choose the Thoth Chariot over the Smith-Waite. I think. Do I? Yes, I choose the Thoth. Okay, so now some of you that are Smith-Waite folks might be wondering, what am I doing here? This is number 8. Over here, this should be Strength. But because in the Thoth, so I just lined it up this way. I wonder if that shows more of my preference for Thoth. But because in Thoth, number 8 is Adjustment. I just put these next to each other because these are the cards that should line up with one another. And this is an easy pick for me. I much prefer the Adjustment card over the Justice card. I think not just aesthetically, even though I love the blues and greens, I love the spheres, I love what's happening here with symmetry. Like this speaks to balanced Libra. Everything about how the toes are pointed. I adore the Adjustment card, the mask, the Alpha and the Omega symbols in there. Yeah, I love everything about the Adjustment card. It isn't one of my favorites of the majors in general, but when I pair it next to this one, it for sure wins. Oh my God, the Hermit card. Okay, so the Hermit. I love the Hermit card in both of these decks so much. I love it. I love everything about the meaning of the Hermit. I love that it means to move inward. I love that it is about, I love the shining light in the lantern. I love because I feel like I want to be a hermit. I want to be the hermit all the time. But the hermit is also a guide and a mentor, and a shining light, a beacon, the hermit, here you can see the hermit's face. Here you don't. It's some sort of odd masked kind of thing. There is more symbolism to go on here. There's wheat stalks. We've got the Cerebus. We've got this like sperm kind of fig thing. I don't remember what that is. I'd have to go back. I love this card a lot, but this is so classic. It is, in my mind's eye, what I see, and the minimalism of it, the blue backdrop, the snowy mountain peak, the staff. I didn't think I was going to go this way, but I really do love this hermit card more. I think so, even though it's really hard for me to say because I really do love that one too. I have to go with that one. I have to. It feels more classic to me. Oh my God, that was tough. That like made me like sad. Okay, so I don't like, here's a Wheel of Fortune or Fortune. I don't love either one of these cards, even though this is lots of purple, which is my favorite color. I don't have an affinity for either one of these Wheel of Fortune cards. I do love the meaning of the Wheel of Fortune. I absolutely do. If I'm hard pressed to decide, even though I really kind of don't like either of these aesthetically, I think I choose Smith-Waite. Yep. So here we have at 11 in the Thoth Tarot, this though appears at 8, the Strength card as it's called in Smith-Waite, and the Lust card as it's called in the Thoth Tarot. This is a tough one too because I adore this depiction. I really do. I love the perspective. I even love this, like, that the lion is like weird with the curly hair. But I have to say that everything about this Lust card, is it seven-headed beast, with the serpent and tail, the Holy Grail, or cup, the serpents up here, that Lady Godiva feel that I get from this naked woman riding the back of this beast that she has leashed. I feel like there's like the meanings are different. In what I've learned about these cards, there is similarity, but they actually feel like really different cards to me. I don't know if those of you that use both systems feel that way. I know there's overlap, but there's a divide for me as well between these two cards. So this is tough, but I think it's going to be the Thoth. I think it's the Lust card. I think this reads the meaning for me more. Okay. Wow, this is getting harder and harder. All right, so the Hanged Man. Honestly, I think it's the Thoth. I think it's because it is so, I feel like this calls to mind more the water, sacrificial, martyrdom element or way to read this card. I read the water and sacrificial, and I'm into that idea of the Hanged Man right now versus the like shifted perspective and sit it out and wait kind of idea. That Odin story, sacrificial, the dying god, that story, that's what feels like how I'm interpreting the Hanged Man right now. And so for that reason, we're going here. Okay. Another really tough one, but this is tough. I loved this death card always, because I knew of it long before I even really started learning how to read the tarot. But when I discovered the Thoth and I saw this card for the first time, I just absolutely fell in love with this. I love everything about this card. Aesthetically, it just speaks right to me. I love the dancing Grim Reaper who is churning the undersea sludge, mud, these bubbles rising. And then the story of the scorpion, the serpent, and the eagle. That's the Scorpio story. Yeah, I give it to this one. Okay. Yep, here's another easy one that I can give it to, that I can do. I do love this Temperance card, but when you put this next to the Lovers card, I mean, I could do like a whole video just on those two cards. The selves have been integrated, the aspects of selves have been integrated and mixed, and the alchemy that's involved in this card, it's beautiful. I absolutely love it. And yeah, so the art card wins. We have the Devil now. This is tough for me too, but I think like, because I love this card, and if it wasn't so like obviously a giant phallic symbol, I might prefer, because I prefer the goat over this. But I really love the black background. I absolutely love this card. So we're gonna give this to Smithwaite and not Thoth. Okay, so we have here the Tower. The thing about the Tower, I actually have grown to love the Tower card, because it's scary, because it makes you think, because you don't want to see it, I think. That's why I think I like it. But I love this like huge mouth from, below, in the fires of hell, and the figures very geometrically drawn falling, and then the eye of, I think it's supposed to be Shiva. Oh. Anyway, I love that. But when I think of the Tower, I think of this card. I think of the black background and the crown and the lightning bolts. So for that reason, yeah, I'm gonna give it to Smithwaite. Okay. This is easy. Actually, the Moon card from the Smithwaite wins. I do love the Thoth, like reading about this card, but like aesthetically, I don't like this card at all. I love everything about the Moon. It so speaks to me with the wolf and the dog and the crustacean coming out from the primordial waters and the towers in the background. Like I just love everything about it. Okay, and yeah, I mean, if we're talking aesthetically, then 100% it is the Star card from the Thoth. I love, yeah, I mean, and it's not just aesthetically, but like if we're talking like these purples, I love that this feels so much more cosmic than this. I love the water being poured on the ground here, but honestly, this has a grander, larger, just a bigger meaning for me overall. It's got that water bearer element, but it's like the waters of, of the universe. So I picked the Thoth Star. And yeah, this is another one that's fairly easy for me to say too. I prefer the Thoth Sun with the twins and the 12 zodiac signs that you can see all around the sun. I mean, I'm not opposed to the little naked baby. That's not I'm not like some people hate that. I don't hate that. But there's symbolism here that I really enjoy. The red feather that calls back to the Fool. But at the end of the day, yeah, I choose the Thoth. Here's another one that's an easy pick for me. The Eon or Aeon, however it's pronounced. Yeah, the whole judgment, people rising from their graves thing doesn't do it for me. What I prefer is the evolution of the self in the Aeon. For me, this card means becoming, and I can't remember the name of the goddess that's stretched here. But I know this is Horus, Osiris, and Iris. So this shows the 3 aeons in one. And yeah, oh, there's the baby. There. But yeah, I absolutely, I love the colors. I really do. I do love this card. Okay, so now we're at the end of the majors and we have the universe and the world. This is tough too. This is really tough because I do love the world card. It's nice to get the world card because it makes you feel very secure. Like I'm like, oh, okay, yes, I've done that. I've completed it. This is the way things go. That's just sort of the feeling that I have. This is hard to say, but I think because of the symbolism, because we have, again, the 4 fixed sign. Well, we have the 4 fixed signs here too, but I guess I prefer the depiction. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's gonna be the Thoth, and I don't think I have a good reason why. I don't. Okay. So now we're in the minors, and I'm gonna have to make faster decisions here because otherwise this is gonna be super duper long. So we're starting with the wands. Okay, so I love aces in general because I love the idea of aces. I love that they are the root of the power of their element. So this is the root of the power of fire. And honestly, this feels like the root of the power of fire more than this, even though I do like it. But I'm gonna go with the Thoth. All right, here we have the 2 of Wands. Interesting. Mars and Aries. I think I like the scenic. So now we're gonna be putting up scenic pips versus pips with feeling. So I do think that this idea of the 2 of Wands, I think because I read it more like this than I do like this, it's gonna be the 2 I'm sorry, Smith-Waite. All right, 3 of Wands. Wow. I think it's Smith-Waite here too. I think I prefer this interpretation, the scenic illustration, versus the Sun and Aries coloring of these pips. Okay, so now we have the 4 completion. So the way that I've now kind of numerologically been reading the 4s in general, them being like a structure. This is a structure too, but the 4s being structured and safe. And also I have to take into account that the keywords here sometimes make this win out. I love this card, but I think I prefer this card. Okay. So now we have the 5 of Wands, strife. Now, while I love the word strife, I love this. I prefer this depiction of these, these folks that are fighting, or when you look closely and you see how they're engaged in this conflict, it's really interesting, and I like that. All right, so I'm moving faster now. So the 6 of Wands. Okay. I guess I don't love the wands in the Thoth as much as I thought that I did, except for the ace. But the thing about this card that bugs me is the draping over, and I'm sure that has a name, over the horse. It's like so giant. It's like the horse is like swimming in it, and that always has bothered me. So for that reason alone, and because I really love the flames, and that victory is on the key word of this, I choose this one. Okay. The Seven of Wands. So the Seven of Wands is like, for me, I feel like nobody, even the most groundbreaking or different kind of tarot decks, they really, a lot of them fall back on this image alone. This dude on the high ground defending. So, and I'm just like, I'm kind of bored with it. I'm bored with that image. And I don't love it here. I really do love this like firecracker of a wand in the midst of these other. So I'm picking that one. Some of you might think I'm weird. Okay, this is easy. This is boring. This is boring. This is electric. It feels electric. It feels like energy. And and the rainbow, yeah, that's just an easy pick for me. So, okay, maybe I do like the wands and the Thoth more or as I thought I did. I do always love this like look on the face of this particular character. This like wary, leery, world-worn, yet strong face in there. But I just love the opposition here of the sun and the moon. This is sun in Sagittarius. And what the wands are doing, how there's these half moons. Yeah, I actually really love the coloring and what's going on here with this card. So I pick this one. Yeah, I don't know, because you have now the two wands in front and then these wands in the backdrop, and it feels like this really feels like a stop that these two wands have put on. But when I like what's happening here, but this is very just makes sense. And there's the way that this is depicted and how this person is like almost home or on their way. You can't see their face. It's, yeah, I pick Waite Smith. Okay. Now, this is probably going to go, these are the quartz now. So just so I can explain to you, the quartz are different in Waite Smith and Thoth. There's the page, knight, queen, and king in the Waite Smith. There's the princess, the prince, the queen, and the knight. And I have aligned them that way, even though some people think of them differently. So this is an easy pick. The Princess of Wands versus the page. Yeah. The Thoth court cards are probably all gonna win. I love this so much with the tiger. She speaks of bravery to me. She just exudes bravery to me. This is what I see in Earth of Fire when I think of the energy or the personality type. Okay, Knight of Wands versus Prince of Wands. I know the Knight here looks more like the Knight here, but we're gonna do these guys. And, the Princes are probably my least favorite court cards in the Thoth. But I still prefer, and I don't pull princes very often. I really don't. I don't think I've had a deep dive into the Prince of Wands. Okay, but I'm still picking him. Queen of Wands, okay. Now this is tough. I thought it was gonna be her. I really thought it was gonna immediately be her. But I think this Queen of Wands, it's because of the black cat, which, like, I don't even like cats, but I don't know. Oh, I'm sorry. People out there might not like me anymore because I'm not into cats. I probably shouldn't say that. But I think it is because of the black cat and the sunflower. It feels Queen of Wands to me. So, all right, that was unexpected. And finally, the Knight of Wands and the King of Wands. This is an easy answer. It is the Thoth, because he's literally on fire. The horse is on fire, everything. The Knight of Wands is fire of fire. So there's nothing that reads that more to me than this depiction. Okay, cups. Oh my goodness. I don't know. I really don't know stacking these. Look, like, who's winning right now. I don't know if you're keeping count, but I have no idea what's winning here. It feels fairly even, maybe more Thoth. Okay, so aces, Ace of Cups. So like I said, pretty much the same reason why, because this feels like the root of the powers of water. I feel like the aces are the primordial, it's the primordial elements. This is the universe as it's being created with fire, water, earth, you know, and this is the water, and this is also called the great yoni, the, you know, the giant vagina card. But I do love this Ace of Cups with the water overflowing. It's got very much Catholic symbolism in it, though. For me, it reminds me of the Eucharist and stuff there. But yeah, it's that ace. Oh my God, this is going to be hard. The cups. I do love the cup suit. I love all the suits. I don't know that I have a favorite one. Love, I mean, honestly, just because I'm such a romantic at heart and a poet, because this card has the word love on it and these beautiful cups and I do love them both, but I'm gonna go with Thoth. Okay, the Three of Cups, yeah, I gotta give it to Smith Wade. This feels like friendship, and this feels like soul family. That's what this card feels like to me. Yeah. Four of Cups. I love both of these cards. I really do. But I think I prefer this flow of the water here, back and forth, versus this like hand out of the nowhere. I don't know. Well, yeah, I think if we're gonna talk aesthetics, it's gonna be that one. Okay. Oh, this is tough. This one's tough. I do see in this arid climate how every time I see the word disappointment, I think of that Cranberries song, Disappointment, and I start singing it in my head. I do love like the symbolism here with the inverted pentagram and the flower petals falling, but like this is sadness and disappointment and the black cape. I prefer the Smith Wade. Okay. Let's go. Okay, so this is probably easy. I love these golden cups. The sun in Scorpio over the little kids. Yeah, it's gotta be Thoth here for me. Okay. The Seven of Cups. So these cards kind of went a different way. I do love this, and this card always seems so weird and bizarre to me with this shadowed figure and all these cups with the weird things popping out of them. But this one really reads like the title, the debauch, the slimy, overindulgent, you know, whereas this is more that illusion type thing. I don't know who we're going to give it to. Who are we going to give it to? I think, though, like, I think this one might be it. The options, the illusion, the fantasy, which can be read in the Thoth as well, but it kind of goes a different way. I think it's going to be Smith Waite. Okay. Eight of Cups. Oh my goodness. Indolence. This muddy, mucky landscape with these cups. I love it. And these different holes. I do, but this one feels very much Eight of Cups. When I think of the Eight of Cups in my mind's eye, this is the one. Okay. Nine of Cups. Yeah, I love the happiness card in the Thoth. The flow of the golden water. But I think I just don't like this one as much. You know, I get it. I get the smirk. I understand like his posture and everything. But this speaks more to me of the happiness card, the overflow, the symmetry here in the cups. This is interesting. I always loved the 10 of Cups, but I love the rainbow. I love the family, but I love the tree of life here that is apparent on the 10s. I think all the 10s in the Thoth. I choose this one. All right, now we are into the quartz and we're gonna see. I initially thought, you know, most of this was gonna be Thoth, and off the bat, I think, yes, the Princess of Cups. I choose the Princess of Cups. I love her turtle. I love all the animals here. I love the gown with crystals. I love all the symbology of the Princess of Cups. So it's her. It is. All right, the Knight of Cups here versus the Prince of Cups here. Again, I never get the princes for some reason in the Thoth. I think this Knight of Cups is more Knight of Cupsy to me. Yeah, I think he's the gift giver that I'm looking for. So I pick him. Okay, so the Queen of Cups. You know, I thought that the Thoth was going to win out with all of the quartz, but I feel like there's something about the queens in the Smith Waite. Perhaps it's because we can see their faces more clearly, that they feel more like the queen to me. And her throne, everything about her. Yeah, I choose her. So now we have the King of Cups, Knight of Cups. I think here I might, yeah, it's gotta be him. It's gotta be this Knight of Cups. He is the knight. You know, even if I think I choose him over this, and I choose him over the other knight too, even though I chose the other knight. That's kind of weird. But still, I love this card so much. Oh, with the peacock, and I love everything. Yeah, I love this artwork. So here we have the aces, and I think just absolutely for the same reasons as before, we've got a clear winner for me here in the root of the powers of air. Okay, so, wow, I don't know, oh my God, this is gonna be so hard. I love this. The Two of Swords and I have a very special relationship. This has been a stalker card of mine for a long time, and I've spent time with it in these two decks and other decks. I don't know. I do love this so much, but I think it's this one. I think it is this initiatory stage, the blindfold, this scene is the Two of Swords. Okay. The Three of Swords, yeah, I'm not a fan of this Three of Swords. I'm actually not a fan of this Three of Swords either. The Three of Swords for me is the Lord of Sorrow, the existential, oh my God, I can't say existential. There, I said it. Sorrow of like trying to, like, trying to find meaning in life, and maybe thinking that there might not be any meaning in life. I feel like this is the one. Okay, so we have the Four of Swords. Yeah, I don't have a reason why, but I don't really love this card just in general. I love the meaning, but I don't love these depictions, either one. But I think it's actually, wait, Smith. Okay, the Five of Swords. The Five of Swords, like, it's so funny. It's the Lord of Defeat. The depiction here always makes me think it's like the self-preservation card, though. And I tend to read it more as the self-preservation card a lot of times. I love this. I love this artwork, though, with these petals. It's the, you know, that flower has been, you know, split open. So, oh my goodness. Is it this one? I think it might be. So Six of Swords. So for me, the Six of Swords in the Thoth and the Six of Swords in the Waite Smith kind of have a different meaning. This like transition, this moving to safe waters versus this like investigation of the mind, this like researching. The sixes are, you know, Tippereth on the Tree of Life. They are beauty and the sun and if we're gonna go just with art, it would be Smith Waite, but I've grown to really love the meaning. I don't know though. I can't. This just feels more right to me in the moment right now. I don't know why, but that's what we're gonna do. I thought this was a toss-up, but yeah, it's gonna be Smith Waite. Okay, this is easy because I kind of hate this card. I hate the sneaky sneak. I hate that whole thing. I hate that it's like known as like the cheating card or the whatever, and like the betrayal. And I know, and I accept that that's one of the meanings of this card. But when I found out about, this was the first Thoth card that I ever pulled. And when I read about this like planetary battle, this like different way to interpret your minds, dealing with futility, how like the negative self-talk, that is one of, like, when I first started studying Thoth and got this card first, it was hilarious to me, and also just opened up the world of Thoth, you know, study for me. So it's gonna be that one. The Eight of Cards, Interference. Oh my goodness. I love, love, love both of these cards. I love thinking of the Eight as interference. It feels electric, kind of like the Eight of Wands. I feel the energy. I'm doing this with my hands because that's what I feel like. I feel the energy here. I feel the interference. But this depiction of the figure trapped, you know, in ropes and this just feels Eight of Swords. It just, and you know what's funny is this is my birth card, I guess it would be my decan. Yeah, this is my birthday falls in this decan. Eight of Swords. Yeah, and all 8, 9, and 10 of Swords are the Gemini cards. Haha. So, okay, we're going to give it to that one. 9 of Swords. Yeah, cruelty. So while this is such a classic depiction of the nightmare card, the anxiety, the cruelty, what goes on in your brain, this like poisoning of the swords, and the blood and, you know, poison dripping down. You see the acid, the green and the red. Like, I think I prefer that card. Okay. This is tough because I don't like either one of these cards. Well, I mean, the Ten of Swords, you know, it's like the Ten of Swords. You know, the Ten of Swords is always looking like this. And maybe it's not, you know, Smith-Waite's fault. Maybe it's like the reinterpretations or the decks that keep kind of doing the same, you know, swords in the back. But at the same time, it's such a potent image that, like, why wouldn't you use that image to get the meaning across? But like, there are 10 swords here. There's the broken sword in the middle. There's all of the symbology going on with the different sword hilts, the sun in Gemini, the word ruin. I mean, I do always love that the sun is rising here, or the sun is setting, that it's like the end of something, perhaps the beginning of something new. It's the 10. This one's hard to say. Ugh, I don't know. I think just because it's such a potent, memorable image, I have to go with this one. Like, I have to. Yeah, it's the Waite Smith. All right, here we go. Court cards in the swords. Okay, Princess of Swords. Yeah, here's my Xena, warrior princess. I've talked about her before. And yeah, definitely I choose this. I choose this with the wings over that Page of Swords. She wins. Knight of Swords. Ugh, this is such a familiar card to me with the horse and the, you know, the momentum. Like I said, I have not spent a lot of time studying. I do love all of like the geometry, like what's going on here with these different figures that are pulling the this vehicle chariot of the prince. I think this is so obvious and this is so intriguing that, like, right now I'm going to choose this one because this is making me want to deep dive the princes in the Thoth Tarot. All right, this is a toughie. I had chosen the queens in the two other suits. I chose the Waite Smith, but I'm leaning towards this. I feel like when I think of the Queen of Swords, I really love this like mask or head. It is fierce. Like, I mean, she seems pretty fierce too, but she seems badass. And I kind of like thinking of the energy of the Queen of Swords or personality of the Queen of Swords in that way, in that very badass. Look at her elongated arms. It's so, yeah, it's just way cooler to me than this queen. All right, I'm giving it to Thoth. And finally, we have the King of Swords and Knight of Swords here with this. This makes me think of like Peter Pan meets Tinkerbell kind of energy. I love the two different swords. I love just the movement in this. Yeah, I think it's clear that I'm choosing this Knight of Swords. Okay, now we're into the pentacles or discs. And I'm not sure if this gives Thoth the advantage already, but I prefer the term discs over the term pentacles. That's how I think of this suit. I think of the suits mostly in relationship to their element. So the earth feels like the discs to me more than it feels like the pentacles. I sometimes think of resources and money with this suit, but not that much. All right, so already aesthetically, I can tell you immediately that it is the Thoth. Although I gotta tell you, I read I think it's called The Secret Language of the Smith-Waite. I'll find it and put it in the description box, but there's a book that I read that really deep dives into all of the symbology, and it makes you take a look at several cards over and over, and this is one of them because of the gateway, because of the flowers. I spent lots of time with this card. I feel connected to it. But aesthetically speaking, this is the card. This is the root of the powers of the earth. These aces and all of in the Thoth just feel bigger. They feel like that primordial energy. You feel this like seed opening move, like feeling. It feels like this cracking open. Oh my God. I don't know how we're stacking up here, guys. So it's the Thoth with that one. Yeah, this one I can tell you probably right away too that it is the Thoth. I love the yin and yang symbols here. I love the Ouroboros. I love the coloring here. I love that this card makes me feel like it's the baby Wheel of Fortune or fortune card. Whereas like, this guy, you know, this depiction, this weird hat, like the juggling, the stuff like that. I get it, but it's definitely this. It's definitely this. Okay. The Three of Discs works. Yeah. I'm not a big fan of the church imagery here, although I think I picked the Four of Swords from this one. I really do love the pyramid. I love the wheels. I like the symbology here. I don't always think of this as the teamwork card. So it feels like, you know, the triangle, the portal like energy that I like to see sometimes in threes is here. So yeah. Okay, so yeah, I don't really love aesthetically, I don't really love either of these cards, but I love the title of the Thoth Power, Four of Discs. I love this overhead perspective of this castle, this very secure place. I love imagining myself in different places on this like map, it feels like to me. This guy gives that miserly quality that often is read of this particular card, whereas I think of this much more as like security, holding things dear, and I like imagining myself at different points in that kind of idea in this depiction. So we're giving it to Thoth. Okay, so worry. It isn't my favorite card aesthetically, but I love that it feels like a clockworks, like in the inside of a timepiece. And I don't know, this card is just always a bummer to get, you know, like it's a bummer to pull this card every single time, either way. There is a color story definitely happening that's very similar in both of these. I haven't been paying attention to that all throughout because I'm looking at what I prefer versus what is similar. I feel like if I'm hard pressed, aesthetically speaking, I think I prefer this, you know, Pippish style versus these folks out in the cold. So, okay, the Six of Discs, Success versus Waite Smith. There's always been something that I've not enjoyed about this card. It feels like it's a charity, like it's, you know, one of the meanings is charity, but this always feels very haughty and pretentious to me, and I don't like to feel that immediately when I read the card. I love that the Rosicrucian cross is on here. I love the different zodiac signs here, and when I've worked with this card and the energy of this card, I've preferred it over this one, the energy of this card. Yeah. Okay. All right. So 7 of Discs, failure. This is a bummer card to get. This is kind of a, one of those cards that like the meaning really, really shifts. I mean, all of them, the meaning really, really shifts based on the context of the reading and the question and the querent and all that stuff. But I feel like there's so many different ways to look at the 7 of Discs. I don't know which one I choose. I think it's got to be this pensive lad. Yeah, I'm just going with gut now. All right. Oh, this one's hard. I thought it would be easy because I thought I would immediately prefer this imagery because I think it's so beautiful, but I feel like, sorry, there's stuff on my cards and it's bugging me. But I feel like this like really reads this like skill and mastery and workmanship and things like that in this card. But I really just love the idea, the prudence. I love the growth that you can see clearly. I think I'm just gonna go with it. It's gonna be the Thoth. Okay. All right. Yeah. This is probably one of my least favorite cards in the Thoth deck. And I haven't studied this one a lot. But I prefer this woman. I prefer this woman in the garden with the bird and the dress and I love the coloring. Yeah, I choose Waite Smith here. And oh, this one's tough too. I really love the 10 of Pentacles. It's one of my favorite cards. I love thinking about where you came from and your legacy and like familial and community tradition. And I love, this is the only card in the Waite Smith that has a depiction of the Tree of Life on it, clearly on it. But this being the last card in the tarot, well, in some instances, it's very heavy and you can feel it. You feel that heaviness of this card. But yeah, honestly though, these people, these doggies, this depiction speaks to me more. I did love learning what was on this card, but I choose the Waite Smith. Okay. Almost done. Oh my God. I wonder what it's going to be. I'm kind of like nervous now. What are we going to say is my system, my preferred system based on this totally, totally unbiased test here. Okay. This is easy as pie. I do love the Page of Pentacles in the Smith Waite. I really do. But this Princess of Discs is one of the most gorgeous pieces of artwork. I would hang this up in my home. Like, I love her so much. I love her. Okay, now we have the Knight of Pentacles or the Prince of Discs. I gotta tell you, this guy always makes me feel kind of uncomfortable, like his naked, and I'm not uncomfortable with nudity in the tarot, but like this one is what is it about the princes? They're kind of weird to me. I do love the bull. I love everything except the person. But I love this Knight of Pentacles. I love the horse in this one, how he's different or they're different than the other horses. and the other knights. You know, I do often, like many of us do, say slow and steady when we see the Knight of Pentacles, and this card says that. So we're gonna go with him. Yeah, this one is easy because I love this Queen of Discs from the Thoth Tarot. It is probably, and I'm not always like super aligned with the earth suit. I don't feel like a very grounded person most of the time. This depiction though, like these depictions of the quartz are like, it makes me want to be grounded. Like it makes me want to be this Mother Earth, you know, but badass figure. She's gorgeous. I love this. She's like earth. She's like part of the landscape. That's how I feel about the princess too. So that's easy. I didn't even like pay attention to her. Yeah, no. This is hard too because I do love the King of Pentacles. Like I love his smug face. Oh no, that's got like a little bit. Okay, sorry. I love his smug face. I always talk about the King of Pentacles. I call him Big Pimpin'. That's probably really inappropriate, but like I think of him that way. Like just, you know, I think of that Jay-Z song. But this is a gorgeous piece of artwork that I can't deny. Like I can't deny how beautiful this looks. I don't know, maybe some of you will disagree with me about that, but I just, yeah, he is it. He's it. He's it. Okay, so I think that's the last one. And now we have to tally them up. Definitely have a clear preference for, we have a clear preference for the Thoth Tarot over the Waite-Smith Centennial. So that's it. It's the one. It is the winner. I had a feeling that would be the case, but I didn't really think that it would be that many more cards that I preferred over the Waite-Smith. So as always, thank you so much for sticking around. I hope you enjoyed that battle of the systems with me, and I hope that you all have a beautiful, wonderful day.